Konspirationsteorier om blandt andet terrorangrebene den 11. september er altså meget udbredte, ikke mindst blandt unge. Men hvorfor er de det, og hvad betyder det? Vi har besøgt en amerikansk forsker og journalist, som har brugt 30 år på at studere konspirationsteorier. Og han underviser blandt andre unge journalister i at skelne konspirationsteorier fra virkelighed. Han mener, det er et stigende samfundsproblem, når så mange tror på konspirationsteorierne.
A lot of this stuff starts back in the 1790s, and we have two books. 1798, Proofs of a Conspiracy, and then this is a hefty volume, Memoirs Illustrating the History of Jacobinism. These books came out in the 1790s, and this starts all of modern conspiracy theory.
Chip Berlet ligger inde med bjerge af dokumenter og bøger om konspirationsteorier. Han er forsker og forfatter og arbejder for en liberal tænketank. Oprindeligt var han journalist i den alternative presse i 70'erne.
I've been collecting the conspiracy stuff for over 25 years, originally looking at it from the government looking at dissidents as a subversive conspiracy, and then realizing that when dissidents look at the government as a subversive conspiracy, it's just a mirror image. They're basically both writing phony stories about each other.
Interessen begyndte, da han for mange år siden skulle redigere en bog om Kennedy-mordet. Derved opdagede han den skov af konspirationslitteratur, som er skrevet både før og efter Kennedy-mordet.
This is just the tip of the iceberg.
This is only a sampling. This is only a tiny bit of conspiracy books, yeah. Some of them, go back to, the John Birch Society, so you basically have here's a good one. I love this cover. It's so graphic. None dare call it conspiracy. Well, of course, if none dare call it conspiracy, how would you publish a book? So it's money, communism, the UN, and the Freemasons. All connected in this book. I love that one.
Er der nogen grund til, at konspirationsteorier trives specielt i USA? Ja, siger Berlet. Han tror, det er fordi de første indvandrere, som kom til at dominere landet, var stærkt religiøse.
I mean, as a nation, we're founded by people who believed in a conspiracy of Satan. They came to the United States. They thought there was a literal Satan on earth. They thought that there was a struggle between godly Christians against these satanic forces. We executed a bunch of the people that we thought were conspirators as witches. We searched for them in the Palmer raids and deported Italians and Russians. We tried to find them in the State Department during the Red Scare. All of this is rooted in a biblical understanding of the Book of Revelation as a conspiracy script, which we then play out in secular and religious forms throughout our history. So yeah, America is just imbued with apocalyptic conspiracy thinking because the founders, the settlers who came here, brought it with them as a form of understanding the world in the 1600s.
Figure it out, it's not hard. 9/11 was an inside job. Figure it out, it's not hard. 9/11 was an inside job.
Conspiracy culture in the U.S. waxes and wanes. There are periods when it's very marginal, and there are periods when it takes over state legislatures and becomes major public debate. We're right in the middle of one of the largest moments in American history where conspiracy thinking has entered the center stage and is actually having a powerful political impact in some subcultures in the United States.
Why this rise right now?
We've had in recent years in the United States increasing secrecy in government, increasing kind of foreign adventures and attacks on foreign countries that are sometimes accompanied with covert action. And so this kind of situation breeds conspiracy thinking. The more the government engages in activities which they don't explain, both domestically and in foreign policy, the more it tries to keep secret what it's doing, the more likely it is that people are going to be able to use conspiracy theories to explain what is unseen and unstated by the government.
Derudover spiller internettet en stor rolle i udbredelsen af konspirationsteorier.
In the past, you would have had to print a book, for instance, and that requires a lot of resources and a distribution network. Now, for very little money, you can set up a website that is very elaborate and is thousands of pages on it. So the ability of conspiracy theorists to use modern technology to produce DVDs at a relatively low cost, to put up a website, to do web radio broadcasts, to get on their own talk show on alternative radio is not that difficult. And so suddenly the general population of the U.S. is exposed much more to these conspiracy theories. On the internet now, there's so many conspiracy theories, and we so, as a culture around the world, lack the ability to decide what's worth filtering out and what's worth letting through the filter, that it's very hard to determine what's a valid piece of information and what's something that normally you would have looked at as a flyer and thrown in the wastebasket.
Burlett underviser unge journalister fra den alternative presse i journalistiske metoder. Og håndtering af konspirationsteorier er et af emnerne.
Conspiracy thinking has become such a problem that we have built into our course on investigative reporting a whole section on the difference between conspiracy theories and investigative reporting, because so many of the young alternative journalists coming up on the political left don't know how to differentiate between what is a conspiracy theory that is not based in fact or is flawed purely on the level of logic, and what is serious investigative reporting.
I det hele taget er konspirationsteorier et problem for det politiske liv i USA, mener Burlett. Ikke mindst for demokraterne og venstrefløjen.
Left in the United States collapsed to a large extent over the last 30 years. A lot of the old ideas of the left have been discarded and new ideas have not taken their place. So there's a vacuum of political ideas on the political left. And the Democratic Party, who's vaguely left, has for the most part in the last 20 years tried to pretend that they're Republicans. So they're not really providing a kind of alternative political ideological model for young people to turn to. So without an organized left and with the Democratic Party moving to the right, there's a vacuum. And this vacuum, I think, has been filled by conspiracy theories, because at least it's an analysis of why things are going so wrong in the ideas of political progressive.
So it leads to political apathy?
Anxiety. It gets a lot of energy focused on stopping something that isn't happening, so that all of the energy of the dissident group is focused on we must reveal that the World Trade Center was brought down by a controlled demolition. You have people engaged in unraveling a conspiracy that doesn't exist and wasting their time, wasting their energy, completely taking their political activism out of any sensible and constructive debate and struggle within the society.
From Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Welcome, my friends, to this live Friday edition.
Ultimately, conspiracy theories do two things. They make the person telling the story a celebrity, and they disempower the people hearing the story. Because if there's such a vast, long-standing conspiracy, why challenge it? It's useless. We might as well just sit back and let it happen. So what happens then is the conspiracy theorist becomes a hero for raising the alarm, but the way they construct the story undermines the ability of dissident political forces in the society to actually change things.